This week I was playing a game called Supraland, or part of the Humble Bundle deal. Originally, it's $19.99 outside the deal, but I'm gonna play. I played through the game about 6 hours worth, and I'm ready to give my review of it. So, this game is a first-person Metroidvania puzzle game, and we'll see what I like and dislike about it. With a couple clips from the show. So, the first thing off, the pros, I would say very beautiful graphics. It's very stunning. Ray tracing is on point and the colors are vibrant. The cartoonish art style is really easy on the eyes and makes lots of leeway for high resolution. Creative puzzles. The game does not hold your hand through each puzzle and forces you to trust your gamer instincts. So if you have a lot of experience playing video games, you will see a lot of puzzles that are like, oh yeah, it's obvious to do this. But I have a friend who is a casual gamer, and when they were trying to figure out what I was doing, they were completely lost. This is definitely not a game for casual gamers. So in this puzzle right here, there's a button that you have to hit, but every time you hit that button, the platform moves up. So when you play through the game, you see a bunch of different abilities that you unlock and weapons and skills that helps you pass through the game. And because of the lack of instructions, it makes you kind of feel like a gamer god whenever you complete these puzzles, because it's kind of like, oh yeah, I knew what to do because I've had experience playing these games before. So that's the initial draw of this game. For the perspective, it's a very nice perspective as well, because you can see that the entire game is set in a sandbox, and because it's in a little sandbox, you have like huge items and like a giant screwdrivers and things that stick out, and it just makes you feel like a little toy in a kid's imagination. What I didn't like is the combat system. As you can see, enemies are very run of the mill enemies. Like, for example, this instance right here, pretty much all the bad guys, you just run up and smack them until they die, and there's not a lot of variety in the bad guys. It could be just because the first 6 hours of the game is like that, but I'm not going to play more than 6 hours expecting things to get better. You had me at 6 hours to impress me, so if you're going to provide something new and interesting, you should have done it by now. The characters are really nice. Like, I found it really funny that this guy looked like a meme, in my opinion. In this view right here, you see that you look like a very, very small toy in a sandbox, and like there's a giant house in the background, a chair for perspective, and the view is really, really nice. You can always find a really tall place to stand and look at things, and it's very nice to be able to see how much beautiful artwork they put into this game. The story is pretty uncaptivating, and I found myself forcing to play this game rather than wanting to play this game. There wasn't a lot of story to it. They kind of just drop you into this environment and expect you to just go and have fun. But without a clear story, any RPG is not going to hold your attention. That's the whole point of an RPG, is to have a role-playing element to it. And in this game, I didn't feel that connection. I was just running around and solving puzzles. If I wanted to play a puzzle game, I would have picked up a puzzle game. But I was allured by this because they compared it to the likes of Zelda and Metroid. And those are really top tier RPGs that have a really strong following to it. So even though this game picked up a lot of good reviews, in my opinion, it's not worth the selection. So ever since Humble Bundle made that deal where you have to pick and choose which of the games that that you get to pick from the 9 that they offer, your choices are a lot more limited, and so that makes you feel like if I pick this game, I could be losing out on a game that I really love. I will give you this though: the puzzles are very interesting. Like in this instance right here, this guy's trying to get into this church, and they won't let him in unless he has the right virtues. And so I was running around for like 30 minutes looking for things to help this guy out, and I just picked up a random ring that I found, and I walked up and held it up, and I did not know that you could grab this light from the little lamp right there to stick into this machine that turns everything into a certain color. So that was very interesting, and that is something new I didn't see before. That you can just mess around with the environment, and even those trees. There was a tree perfectly placed on top of this pipe. That if you just smack the tree, the leaves will fall in and turn it green, which you can use for a key card to uncover some secrets later on. But it was just like a lot of running around, messing with things, and using your gamer instincts to say, "Oh, this is something that I want to smack. This is something that I want to grab. This is something I want to mess with to solve a puzzle." Unfortunately, though, because of that, like most RPGs, there's a lot of backtracking, and in this game, because of the open creativeness, I found it very troubling that I would spend 30, 40 minutes trying to solve a puzzle only to find out that you needed another element that you won't get later on. And I wish they would have just said, hey, you're going to need this item or something in order to solve this puzzle up in front before I spend 30, 40 minutes trying to solve it. And the freedom of movement is so great in this game that there were parts of puzzles where I felt like I could just get around it by jumping at a certain angle or crouch jumping, for instance, or doing things that only experienced gamers would try to attempt. Like a casual gamer would run up to like this boulder and be like, "Oh, it's too high for me to jump up there." I'd be like, "Let me boost myself up on some other thing and then try doing crouch jumping in order to get over there," and that would work for those type of puzzles. Would I recognize this game? As you probably already tell, I would not. No. Uh, I was planning to play 10 hours of this game, but I really struggled. I didn't really feel like it was worth any more than 6 hours worth to test it out because the enemies weren't getting innovative. There were no boss fights at all, and some of the puzzles kept me stuck for a long time. And in that they weren't challenging. It was just things weren't really laid out properly because I would be like running off in this tangent trying to solve this puzzle and keep getting deeper and deeper into this dungeon, and then find out I have to go back and tackle another dungeon in order to get a different item to progress with the story. So I hope that this review helped, and if you are into this type of game, I believe it came out in 2018. It might have been great back then. Now, I would definitely look at some other games in your humble bundle. Again, it's 19.99 if you decide to get this outside the bundle, and it's on Steam, I believe. Right now, it's still 19.99 as well. So, once again, my name is Brian, and have a good day.